Hey everybody, Friday night here for Friday Night Live. How are you? My name is Dionne Woods with the Turquoise Iris. This is a place I like to come and create. Most of the time I like to work on furniture and give it a new life. I promise you this piece was absolutely blah. And so my goal is to create a new look, give it a new finish, and make it loved by somebody else, because I promise you this piece has not been loved in a very long time. So I was just over on Facebook doing my Friday Night Live with my good friend Quita Allen of All Shabbed Out, and we basically bring on people, and tonight we actually had the viewers pick our colors. And or I had them pick my colors. Quita was working on an absolutely beautiful buffet. So hi again. There's some of my friends popping on here from Facebook onto YouTube. So this piece has been drying for the last few minutes, and thanks for the thumbs up too. I so appreciate you guys. My goal I started an hour and a half ago was a solid wood piece of furniture here, and I'm not kidding you guys, it was hideous. You can double check, and some of the people on here can confirm that with you. So it's a great solid wood mini wardrobe. It's got shelves inside. I think it would be a lovely piece in a furniture, or lovely piece of furniture in a bathroom. But what I'm looking at here is they picked the colors over on Facebook, on the Facebook Live. So guys, you're popping back over here. I so appreciate you guys. I so appreciate you following and giving me thumbs up and coming over here. You guys were just over on Facebook, but I want to do a Friday Night Live here. I'm waiting on Matt to get home from picking up the kids from the movies. So I was hoping he could join me tonight, but we may have to postpone that once again. So the colors here, if you're not familiar, I use all DIY paint, and I'm getting ready to turn it to the side, and I'm going to duplicate this look on one of the sides, and you guys can do it with me. So Queen Bee is what I started with. This is actually, see how bright it looks? And it's a clay-based paint. It's no VOC, so there's no smell. Jess, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad you caught alive. Ashley, it seems okay here. Thanks for all the thumbs up. This is the yellow, and then this is a color called Cowgirl Coral. And you know what? Let's just go through it together. I'll just get started painting, and we'll go through it all together. So the goal is to make this side and that side look just like this. Now, is it going to stay looking like that? No. No, it's not, because there's not a top coat on it, which means there's not a wax. And then I will be hand painting a wildflower artwork on the front of this piece and carrying it over to the side. So we have to get the base coats on. This piece is dried out solid wood, so as you can see, this is what the front looked like. And hi Bub, my brother popping on here to say sister. So that did look like this. Ew, promise you, it was ugly, and we don't care for that. Seriously, nobody had wanted this piece. I got it for a really good price, and I just kind of want to give it a new life. So I let everybody else pick the colors on the Friday Night Live earlier, and there were some great suggestions. I think we even had a black and white suggestion. But I went with the colors, obviously, that spoke to me as well. So I appreciate all the input. And I think next week we'll go ahead and hand paint the flowers on the front of this. We'll do that together. But I want to get this side to kind of coordinate with that. It's not going to look identical. It's not important to me to actually look identical. I am using my fine mist sprayer, and I'm actually spraying a little of that in here because I'm at the very bottom of my little sample jar, and I'll tell you what, the paint goes a really long ways, and adding water does not dilute the intensity of the pigment, but it will thin the paint just a little bit and let it go further. And as you can see, it's not diluted. It's still just as bright and bold as it was. But I'm thinning it. This is just a base coat and putting a really thin coat on it. Guys, if this is your first time here, my name is Dion Woods, and I do a lot of different things, but I often will be painting furniture and giving it new life. So I appreciate you stopping by and giving me a thumbs up. And I've got to where I've decided to do a weekly live show on YouTube because I do it all the time on Facebook, and I didn't want to leave you guys out. I know there are a lot of you who just prefer YouTube. It's easier to watch videos and stay organized. So I'm going to try to pop on here at least once a week and do a paint tutorial for you guys as well. So the next color we've got to do is grab Cowgirl Coral, and then basically that looked like this when I first started tonight. And it's just a fine mist sprayer, you guys. So there's not a whole lot. It's not like it's dripping or anything, okay? It just keeps the paint wet because it's a very porous paint, so the water evaporates quickly from the clay. If you do not have DIY paint in your area, you can always use something similar, a clay-based paint. This is just the one that I choose. It works really well for me, but there are obviously lots of different paint brands that you can use and do something similar. Okay, see how those colors are overlapping with each other? It's almost creating a warm orange here in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the next color, which is our Carnival Red. Carnival Red is our orangey red. And we have an orangey red and a blue red, if that means anything to you, or a yellow red, I should say. Just enough to wet it. Like I said, well, I do this every Friday night on Facebook, but if you're not one of those people that like to watch Facebook, no worries. But on Facebook, I have my friend Quita Allen come on, and her page is All Shabbed Out on Facebook. And she's an amazing furniture artist, and she comes on there with me, and we paint at the same time and do different projects together. And tonight she worked on a buffet, and I worked on this piece. YouTube does not allow us to do dual broadcasting, or we would just carry it on over here and I would pull up Q, but at this point we're not able to do that. If anybody knows of a way, I actually heard there is a way recently through Zoom, and so I may be checking into that. Okay, this is blending really, really, really well. And if you guys are asking questions and I'm missing them, I apologize. I just want to make sure I get this going while it's wet. Thank you guys for the 13 thumbs up. You make my night. So, old 57. Look, it's like the color of an old 57 Chevy truck. And the reason I use these sample jars is A, they go a really long way, and I paint all the time, but I want you to be able to see the color. So I love to use these for the lives and for on my staging wall back there because I want you to be able to see the colors. It's just prettier. I'm gonna hand paint a wildflower scene on the front of it. I'll probably try to do that next week. So I'll hold on to this piece and do it next week. Finish it next week, I should say. See, it's already coming together, but again, this is just a base coat. We'll add some more details, and the actual finishing process of waxing the piece will soften it and just kind of be the icing on the cake. I'm just pulling that blue up into the red, so of course it's creating a warm purple color. And now I'm just going to kind of dry brush the remainder of the paint that's on my brush. I'm just kind of dry brushing it. I have an in-person class next week, Saturday, a week from tomorrow, where I live in Oklahoma City, Moore, Oklahoma. I have tickets available for that now if anybody's interested, or actually if you're from Oklahoma, I would love to meet you. Someone says I make it look easy. I can't read all the comments. They're disappearing. It's like they pop up and then they're gone. Isn't it hard to not use all the colors? They're so pretty, right, Jess? I agree, it is hard. And I loved tonight because, oh, Annette, yes, girl. I loved tonight because I let all of you guys pick the colors over on Facebook. There were some wonderful suggestions, but I also kind of had to go with what I knew I could paint and knew I would be able to work into my wildflower scene. Okay, so this is, last one is Bohemian Blue. It's our really dark teal. So it dries a little bit lighter. You can see on the front, it's a lot lighter. And then this was the Old 57, the Carnival Red, and then the Cowgirl Coral, and the Queen Bee. And it's just a base coat. This piece was tired and oh so not attractive, guys. I'm telling you right now. And now I'm just going to dry brush some of this Bohemian Blue, and it's picking up the grain in this piece of furniture, which I love so much that it's picking that up and going over the yellow with the blue. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we did that pretty quickly, and the only difference is I carried a lot of that blue Old 57 and a lot of the Bohemian Blue up here to the top, so we need to do that now. And I'm gonna actually use quite a bit of water. Guys, this is already dry. This is how fast the paint dries. Look, it's already completely dry. So I'm going to put a little bit of the Old 57 up here and let it just kind of run down the sides. Okay. Now I'm going to spray it a little bit heavier than I did earlier because I want this to be dripping a little bit. So if you want to imagine like an old door, I've been working on that design for years and years, trying to recreate old doors that you would see somewhere on pieces of furniture, that same kind of style. So that's what I've always gone for when I started using water and dripping the finish, as if it were outside and in the elements. And this piece was just so bad when I got it, and I'm determined to make it so much prettier than it was. Now I'm going to grab that, while the water's dripping, I'm going to grab Bohemian Blue, and I'll put just a little bit down in here. Oh, a couple little places. And then I get quiet, I get all serious because I'm focusing. right? Focused. I'm just kind of barely touching it because I want to encourage it to drip just a little bit, but I don't want to muddle the color so much that it looks more like mush. No mush, okay? So that's pretty much it. We did that pretty quickly, didn't we? We made that look like that pretty quickly. But I've got to let it set up and dry. Like I said, so this is nowhere near finished, just so you understand. This is what I worked on tonight. This was all wood without any without any paint whatsoever. So this is basically the base coat. So what I'll do is I'll come back in with some more colors, some more layers, and then next week we will actually hand paint kind of like a wildflower garden here in the center and kind of trailing off to the side. That's kind of how I envision it right now. It'll just be wild and organic looking. There will be no rhyme or reason to it. So then we'll end up putting a heavy coat of like a white wax and some clear, maybe a little brown wax, so it gives it an antique look. We will definitely also be adding some copper paint too, to kind of have it on here on the hardware and make it drip. So that's the plan, you guys. There are 21 thumbs up and 74 of you live here with me, so I appreciate you all so much for popping on here with me live for Friday Night Paint Party. I'm gonna try to come back as many Friday nights as I can. If not, I do it throughout the week as well. So thank you for being here. If you want to subscribe, just click the red box, subscribe, and if you want to be notified when I'm live, just click the bell. And I will put all of the links, like if you were interested in trying the paint or my brushes or anything like that, or going to my website, I will put all of that down in the description box as well. You guys, thank you and have a wonderful weekend.